Last week I posted a video about decluttering, and one of the comments I got was, any advice on how to get out of a rut? And the answer is yes. I have a lot of advice because I've been in a lot of ruts that are so deep and so wide and seem to occur every few steps that I take. Virtually all of us fall into ruts because we put way more on our shoulders than we can handle. We expect from ourselves things that we do not have the time, the capacity, the physicality, the tools and support to do in a given day. Then when the pressure is so great, we just stop moving. We stop making any kind of progress at all. The only way to get out of a rut, out of depression, out of all of the different stuck places, in my opinion, is to do an action step. But we can't do an action step until we shift our mindset, our point of view. Number one, we are going to deal with the very real overwhelm that we are feeling. It causes anxiety, it gives us negative feelings. Our brain is like, you aren't keeping track of everything, so now I'm panicking because I have to hold on to all these different responsibilities and obligations. And that's fair. So to relieve that stress from our brains, we're going to write everything down. Just take a few minutes. You can do a voice note if you don't feel like writing, but every single thing that is on your brain that you're worried about, the birthday parties, this needs to be clean, that project, all of it, just write it all down. You now have a space for your brain to relax because it can see that we have all the stuff, all the worries are right here on paper, voice memo, whatever. Number two, we are going to now make it easier to do an action step by setting the stage. When I was little and my mom wanted us to clean together with her, she would do one of two things. She would either turn on oldies music and blast it through the house, and we'd all be singing and dancing and doing our little work that we didn't want to do just a few minutes before she turned on the music. Or she would turn on a movie when we were kind of more centrally located, and we would just be watching the movie and cleaning up. And if there was a commercial, back in the olden days, we used that commercial to like run and do things that were outside of that area super fast and then come back. And it made it so much more fun. So we're gonna take just a couple of minutes to make an action step more enjoyable. Yes, we deserve this. No, we do not need to punish ourselves by just doing it because we're so far behind. Trust me, just take a few minutes. What I like to do when I'm going to clean, especially if I've been in a rut, is I'm either going to turn on music if I'm trying to do a family clean where the kids are doing it with me. And if I'm doing it by myself, I'm usually going to put on either a comfort audiobook or a comfort show. Things that I'm already familiar with and I don't have to really pay attention to, but the sound of it and usually it's something kind of funny, like the good vibes that I get from it are keeping me going and making me feel like I have company while I'm doing the intense drudgery. I also am very affected by smells. Almost every time that I set out to do something, I'll turn on a diffuser with some essential oil or light a candle. We have a lot of those Scentsies that I turn on so that, that's one more element of my senses that is like, oh, things aren't terrible. Oh, it smells good, so I'm sure it's going to look good soon. There are just all these little tricks that will help you feel more like doing the stuff that you don't want to do. If yours is getting a cup of coffee or putting together a playlist of music that is just geared towards when I clean, and it can be, a lot of times for me, to get me moving, I need a rage playlist. I need songs that are like intense, from the 90s, grunge rock, just let's go. Whatever it is for you, just set the stage. Do something to delight the inner child in you that is still willing to do annoying tasks if there's a little bit of a reward. Number three, and this is where we get to the action, but we are going to do something that is very low effort and very high reward, a small task to get ourselves started and to build momentum. This is going to look different for everyone, but make sure that it is something that can be accomplished within about 15 or so minutes. Maybe it's a small area of the house that you're working on. Like a lot of times I'll just do my side table by my bed. It'll get cluttered with different things. And as cluttered as it gets, I can get the entire thing decluttered. I can clean everything off within about 15 minutes. I also really like to do the kitchen sink. If there are dishes in there, I'll just, scrub the dishes, stick them to the side. I haven't put them in the dishwasher. I haven't done pots and pans. I'll just clean everything that is in the sink and clean the sink really well. That can usually be done in about 15-20 minutes. And it works so well because you need that quick hit of progress made. You need to do the physical thing to get out of a rut. You need to have that physical momentum, but you also need the mental momentum. And no matter how small that space is that you work on, every time you come into the room, yeah, you're gonna see all the things that are messy and that still need to be done, but your eyes are gonna lock on to that thing that you did, and it is going to be that mental uplift that you need to keep going. Number 4, I want you to think of 1 or 2, no more than 2 tasks, voice crack much, that would really help you get your home more functional today. So for me, that's usually going to be getting the kitchen clean or starting a load of laundry. So pick that one task for you, go start your load of laundry or load the dishwasher or order groceries from the store, whatever needs to happen first, and then reevaluate and see how you're doing. If you have extra time and energy and you can tell that you're not pushing yourself, then go ahead and do a secondary task. Number 5 for getting out of a rut and staying out of a rut is that we notice and give ourselves positive feedback for the things that we are doing. I know it's easy. I remember so well all of the steady dialogue I always had in my head when I was really mean to myself, that if I even did something good, I'd still find a way to make it negative. I'd still be like, oh, freaking great, you cleaned that, you should be doing that every day. This should not be a problem. You're an adult, blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't even realize how negative I was to myself because it was always on a loop. It was a never-ending conversation where I was just berating myself at all times. That is not going to keep us out of a rut. So we are going to, whatever you're doing, recognize it. And you don't have to be like pretend cheerleading. You can just be like, hey, I didn't want to do that, and I did it. That's all. You don't have to be like fake positivity or anything like that, but do notice the things that you're doing. Notice the fact that you didn't want to do it and you still did. And that is how you do it. That is how you get out of a rut. This has worked for me so well, but I would like to include 2 things that are not part of getting out of a rut, but they are part of not falling into that rut again. Your life will be changed when you decide to be realistic about what you can do. When you change your mind from you should be doing this, look at all the things you're not doing, why aren't you working harder, my mother did it this way, my grandmother did it this way, why can't you do it this way? When you stop that and really look at what you have going on, examine your time, think about your physicality, think about the mental and emotional bandwidth you have. You know, for instance, I'm kind of getting out of a season of having a really small child who was always wrecking everything, and then having like all of these emotional needs that I had to take care of with some of my little kids. And it was exhausting. It was not physical, but it was something that took a lot out of me. And for a while I was just kind of like, well, this isn't physical. Why are you acting like it is? Because it was exhausting. It exhausted me physically. And that is fair. So just kind of take stock of what's going on and adjust what you want yourself to do. We all want ourselves to be able to do everything and make life just perfect and so easy. And so like all of our categories just checked off. That's not normal. And you're probably not in a season to do that right now. So stop treating yourself like you were a superhuman person. You're not, you're a person. Once you've thought about what you have to give, allow yourself to have options. Maybe you want to do the most. I call these my high capacity tasks. But I've learned from experience that if I write, clean the bathroom from top to bottom, a lot of times I'm not going to do that and then I feel bad. So I have given myself options. This is my adaptive cleaning system. Every single cleaning task, I give myself a high capacity option for if I'm just like, for whatever reason, my time and energy are off the charts. That's what I do. Then I have an average capacity option, which is going to take less time and energy. And then I have a low capacity option for pretty low time and energy, so that even when I am low capacity, if I'm in a rut, if I'm depressed, if I'm sick, etc., I still have something that I can do that's still moving the needle forward. And I have learned to really appreciate myself even more for doing those low capacity tasks. So have those different options for yourself. And don't be afraid to do a bad job or a half-hearted job at anything. If you need to get the laundry cleaned and you don't have time to fold it and whatnot, who cares? Stop putting that mental strain on yourself. Wash it, dry it, throw it into a clean hamper, throw it on the bed, whatever. If you need to clean the bathroom, it's been so long and you just cannot come up with the strength to clean it from top to bottom, get some disinfectant wipes. Take 5 minutes to clean off whatever you can. Anything is better than nothing. And as you keep expecting what is realistic from yourself, you will start to be more consistent. When you're more consistent, you will not fall into ruts as often, and the ruts will be much more shallow and easier to get out of. That's all I got for you today, but I just want to say one more time because it really bears repeating. This is something that took me a while to figure out. If you've spent a long time being negative with yourself, expecting perfection, just beating yourself up when you don't do XYZ, it will take time for you to shift your mindset. But just keep practicing it. Just keep following the framework that I've given you, or whatever makes sense for you. You know, there are many different ways to do things. This is just what works for me as someone who has just been chronically overwhelmed, chronically ill, all these different hurdles I've had to get over. I've had to just keep doing it this way, following these steps, and I've gotten better at it. And I just keep practicing, and my life keeps getting easier, and that is what I want for you. That is why I make these videos, because I don't even like cleaning, but I make these videos because my life actually changed when I started approaching myself with respect for my boundaries, respect for what I had to give, and then just being kind to myself, being supportive, figuring out ways to show up for myself. This has gone way beyond cleaning. It affects every other area of my life. And that's why I make these videos and the content I make, because all of us deserve to enjoy our spaces, or at least feel calm and comfortable in our spaces. And those of us who are dealing with chronic conditions or just really struggling, we especially need some kindness and need some understanding. Sometimes we only get it from ourselves, you know? I hope that this is helpful. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being just the best community, for all the kind comments that you make. If this content feels relevant to you, definitely like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.